Hello guys, this is Miss Jasper. I am up at the school and I am going to go over the Brit Lit Timeline for the seniors who have a test on Tuesday. Remember that the PowerPoint is in Google Classroom. You also have the timeline that I printed out yesterday. You are going to have to put these in order as well as answer questions about them. Okay, I'm going to go through this pretty fast. Just going to kind of spit the information at you. So it's just a really quick review. All right. So first we got the Anglo-Saxon period. They have a very strong belief in fate. This is when Beowulf was written. Okay, they have a strong oral tradition, which means that English is not a language that is written down. It's not a language that is read. It's a language that is spoken. Okay, so if I'm a poet, I'm going to come into your town and I'm going to tell you this poem. I'm going to sing this poem over and over and over again until you know it, okay? And then you could tell it to someone else. So that is how stories are spread during this time period, okay? It's a very tribal society, so there's a lot of battles, so that's usually what their writing is about. Poetry is definitely the dominant genre there. So, next we have the medieval period. So we have Anglo-Saxon and then medieval, okay? Medieval plays, medieval literature really focused on what they called morality plays, okay? So at this point, a few priesthoods could read, and they made morality plays because the masses were still illiterate. Okay, so they were making these morality plays to teach them the virtues that their religions had so that they would know how to be a good person without having to read. Okay, folk ballads, stock epithets, kinning will be on the test. I promise you kinning will be on the test. Either a definition or having to identify a kinning, it will be on the test. Okay, after that we go to the Renaissance. Okay, this is where the worldview shifts. It's not all about religion at this point, the literature. It starts to be more about human life on earth. Okay, we see the development of themes like the development of human potential and love. Love's a huge theme during this time. This is also when Shakespeare is writing, okay? Poetry goes from these long books of poetry, these long, like Beowulf, continuous poems to shorter sonnets. The printing press is made during the Renaissance period. Okay, so that makes books more accessible to the everyday people. They are not something that only the mega wealthy can afford. That is super important that you know that the printing press was made during the Renaissance period. Okay, so at this point, most people still can't read. Okay, the printing press just invented. Some people start to kind of learn how to read, but it does not get super popular until the Restoration. Okay, during the Restoration, it's also known as the Age of Enlightenment. You're going to need to know that those two are interchangeable. There's a lot of emphasis on reason and logic. At this point, everybody wants to write. Okay, so because it's starting to become something that everyone can do. It's this newly attained skill. Everybody wants to read. Everybody wants to write. So we see novels become popular. We see poetry continue to be popular, but less popular than novels. Essays, letters, diaries become big during the Restoration period. So the big theme of the Restoration is literacy has expanded to include the middle class and the poor. Okay, not everyone can read, but it's definitely more popular. Next we have Romanticism. Okay, Romanticism is a response to the Industrial Revolution. That's what's super important. Okay, so people are spending all their times in factories, on assembly lines, working. Okay, and they're celebrating in literature emotion, spontaneity, imagination, and nature. Okay, so that is what you need to know here. And it was a revolt against the aristocratic social and political norms of the Enlightenment period. Okay, so they're starting to shift away from the norms that were popular in the period before. Next we have Victorian. They focus on realism and naturalism. Okay, so know the definitions of those two things and you should be pretty good. And then lastly, postmodern. This is where we see the modern and postmodern. This is where we see the loss of our hero. We start to see tragic heroes, tragic characters. The perfect Beowulf type hero doesn't really exist anymore. Orwell is really big during this period. We see themes of technology's destruction, worries about technology, that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to say this again. We have the Anglo-Saxon period, medieval period, Renaissance period, Restoration, Romanticism, Victorian, and postmodern periods. So you're going to need to put those in order. Know the stuff on the PowerPoint, especially the stuff highlighted in red. Watch this video a couple times, look over your PowerPoint. I don't think it's going to be super difficult as long as you study those things. If you know a couple of authors from each time, that'll probably be a bonus question. Okay, so good luck and have a good day.